expected to name the party's national chairperson and 21 heads of department and their deputies and 5 committee members. In terms of the amended ZANU-PF constitution, the president is allowed to appoint 21 heads of department. He has the leeway to add or subtract the appointments as he sees fit. The extraordinary Central Committee meeting is in line with Comrade Mugabe's promise during his closing remarks during the just ended 6th ZANU-PF National People's Congress.
We will set up a Politburo next week. Atingamboizviite maurana, atingamazita acho andisati ndamboona kuti province yatipa vanhu vakadi ndava nani vatingatore kuisa muPolitburo. So I don't want to rush it, so be patient. But next week, by Wednesday or Thursday, we will make an announcement. We will let you know, because we cannot go far. We will have to choose the 2 vice presidents, have a chairman, have also secretary of, one who is secretary in charge of our department, the secretaries, the secretariat. Basaranga richiitwa navamutasa. Saka tinoda yezvinezvi. I won't want to see activity. Sure, we have lots of our young men and experienced young men, but young men are young men, of course. We would want them also to learn, but now the new constitution says only the heads of department will constitute the Politburo. Only heads, not vices, not deputies. So deputies are out. Deputies will still remain in the Central Committee, but we hope they will be briefed by their heads. So we don't know whether you in the Central Committee will be lucky enough to go to become, but we will do a reshuffle. There will be disappointments, but we will try to be as objective as possible.
During the run-up to the Congress, many heavyweights linked to the infamous plot to illegally oust Comrade Mugabe from power, led by Vice President Dr. Joyce Mujuru, were rejected by their constituencies and failed to make it into the Central Committee. Some of them have since been dismissed from cabinet, while others with pending cases are expected to follow once their cases are finalized. The appointed heads of department and committee members will sit in the Lina Politburo with the first and second secretaries and national chairperson. Deputies will not sit in the Politburo in terms of the new constitution, which has now seen power being centralized around the president and first secretary as part of efforts to eliminate factionalism, which had become rife in the party owing to multiple centers of power.
Following the dismissal of Vice President Dr. Joyce Mujuru and 8 other ministers from the cabinet, analysts say President Robert Mugabe has acted within the confines of the constitution and national interests.
Political analyst Mr. Khubane Moyo says the most important issue for the success of government policy and programs is anchored on a team that reads from the same script with the president's vision.
It is a major decision done by a shrewd politician who knows how to reconstruct himself and also ensure that he puts on the map the right trajectory of how to solve problems that have been affecting this country for a long time. People must understand that this is a party government. It is the party that is in charge of what happens in government. It is the party that constructs what ultimately becomes a policy of government.
Another analyst, Mr. Psychology Maziwisa, says members of cabinet are appointed by the president, and by so he has the sole discretion to relieve them of their duties if he thinks they have not acted constitutionally or in line with national interests.
First, that members of the cabinet, by which meant ministers, their deputies, and even the vice president, are appointed by the president. In other words, they serve at the pleasure of the president, who can either choose to keep them or to relieve them of their duties should circumstances warrant that he does so. In circumstances where he decides to relieve them of their duties, the president is guided usually by two things. Firstly, he is guided by the Constitution in the exercise of that power. But secondly, and more importantly, he is guided by considerations of national interest. In other words, considers whether the decision to relieve those people of their duties is in the national interest or not. And I think in circumstances, it is fair to say that given what has been happening over the last few weeks, President Mugabe's decision was guided by the national interest.
Dr. Mujuru and all the 8 ministers have been linked to a plot to illegally oust President Mugabe from power. Mhlomuli Ncube, ZBC News, Harare.